What up, everybody? How's it going? YouTube Live. Let's see. Is my volume okay here? I don't want to be getting too loud. What up, everybody? How's it going? Okay. I guess it sounds okay. The level of the volume. Um, I just got done doing a virtual press junket. So you can watch those interview videos probably tomorrow after the Oscar nominations announcement. But right now, I want to discuss this topic real quick because I've told you many times that I am a huge Bruce Willis fan. Um, I always joke around. I told people that the movie Die Hard, the first Die Hard movie, was that was the one that taught me how to speak English because I grew up in Asia, and I always tell people like, "Oh yeah, Die Hard was my English teacher." That's that was my first encounter. Obviously, I was exaggerating, but that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you ask me a thousand times over, I will say that Bruce Willis is my favorite action movie star. Um, if you ask me who's my favorite actor, my answer would probably be Al Pacino. But action movie star, above Sylvester Stallone, above Arnold Schwarzenegger, above Dolph Lundgren, all those guys, is Bruce Willis. To me, Bruce Willis is number one. Um, so it's a little bit disappointing and saddening to see how far Bruce Willis has fallen career wise. I mean, I think the last time that he kind of mattered was when he appeared in Sly Stallone's the Expendables, the first one, the first Expendables movie. It was a big deal when that last shot when Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis and Sly were in the same room together. And that was like around the same time that Arnold just got done with his governorship of California. He wasn't a governor anymore, and it was like a big deal. It's like, oh my God, three of the Planet Hollywood creators are in a scene together. So that was like I think the last time that it actually mattered. Bruce Willis actually mattered last time. Tim BL said, "What's up, Tim BI?" Oh, thank you. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. I apologize if I didn't. Tim Bai. Big fan of your reviews, Tim says. Thank you so much. Chad is here. Chad, good vibes as always, my friend. Hello to you too. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Bruce Willis, and he's my favorite action movie star. Again, the last time he mattered was in that Expendables movie, that last shot with him, Arnold and Sly in the same room together. Um, but for the past decade, man, it's disheartening. It hurts, seeing how far he's fallen, career wise, and how he only, for the past decade, he only does straight to Redbox movies, straight to VOD movies, and movies that sometimes, he would show up only like for 1 minute. You know what I'm saying? He's not the lead star of that movie, but the movie would have his face on the poster because he's the biggest name in the cast, but he only shows up like for like 2 minutes or 1 or 2 minutes. Uh, so that's what he's been doing the past decade. He's been just doing things for the paycheck, and so and we can see his IMDb list. I'll put it up for you guys. And so this morning, as you may know by now, Razzie Awards, which is the Oscars for worst of the worst movies of the year, they released their nominations, and we can go through this real quick. But they have created a special category for my main man Bruce Willis. So that's like, ouch, yikes. I mean, in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I totally understand, but this is like rubbing it in. This is like putting salt in the wound. With salt in the injuries. Like, I get it. Bruce Willis is not a good actor anymore. He's been doing shitty movies, but do you really need to go this far as to creating a special category? um, uh, Tyler Calvert. I think it's pretty impressive. He can take up an entire category. That's right. It is kind of impressive, isn't it? So let's go through some of the nominations here. Worst Picture, Diana the Musical, on Netflix. I actually thought that movie was, or that Broadway rendition was actually hilarious. Infinite, of course, Mark Wahlberg's Marky Mark. That movie was shitty. Karen, of course. Space Jam: New Legacy, of course. The Woman in the Window, no doubt, that was terrible. Worst actor, Scott Eastwood for Dangerous. I haven't seen the film. Roe Hartramp, Diana the Musical, as Prince Charles. Okay, LeBron James, Space Jam: New Legacy. Yes, Ben Platt, Dear Evan Hansen. Oh my God, Dear Evan Hansen was awful. It was awful. if you if you managed to see that movie and thought it was good, I feel sorry for you guys. Mark Wahlberg, Infinite. Worst actress, Amy Adams, The Woman in the Window. Yes. Jenna the Wall, Diana the Musical. Megan Fox, Midnight in Switchgrass, which I believe also co-stars Bruce Willis. All right. Taryn Manning, Karen. Ruby Rose, Vanquish. Worst supporting actress, Amy Adams, Dear Evan Hansen. Yes. Sophie Cookson, Infinite. Erin Davy, Diana the Musical. Judy Kay, Queen Elizabeth. Diana the Musical, Taryn Manning, every last one of them. Worst supporting actor, Ben Affleck, The Last Duel. That's arguable. I love Ben Affleck in that movie, actually. But hey, I get it. I totally get it. Nick Cannon, The Misfits, Mel Gibson, Dangerous. Gareth Keegan, Diana the Musical. Jared Leto, House of Gucci. Yes, I found Jared Leto entertaining in that movie, but yes, he was he was so comical. He was so over the top. I'm not surprised that he got nominated for this one. Blue Barrymore. I grew up loving Bruce, but he has gone for a long time. If he comes back for one big cash grab, I think that is his right. Yes, I wish he cared about his title in movies the same way Nick Cage. Yes. Um, but I don't understand all the hate. Yeah, it's just I'm a big fan of Bruce Willis. Like I said many times, he is my favorite action movie star, above Sly, above Arnold, above Dolph, above all these, above Chuck Norris. He's my favorite. So, but he has been doing shitty movies over the past decade, and so in this one year, 2021, he made all these shit. I'm not hating on Bruce Willis. I'm loving him, but you got to keep it real, right? You got to keep it 100. You can't kind of like, oh, trying to coddle Bruce Willis. No, it's the fact is the fact, and the fact is that he made shitty movies in the year 2021. So Razzie says worst performance by Bruce Willis in a 2021 movie. American Siege, Apex, Cosmic Sin. I haven't seen any of these, by the way. Deadlock, Fortress, Midnight in the Switchgrass with Megan Fox, whose name was mentioned earlier. Out of Death, and Survive the Game. Oh my God! Like, I didn't even know that he made all those in one. At least those movies are released in one year. I had no idea, but I'm not surprised. Like I said, he's been doing like straight to Redbox, um, Blue Barrymore. I don't think you are. I mean, other people. Yeah. Thank you, Blue Barrymore. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, yes, wow. But and look at this on the IMDb list. He's got a lot more coming down the pipe. Okay, just on the year 2022 alone, all these titles like "Die Like Lovers." What is that? The Wrong Place, A Day to Die. I mean, is that like a play on Die Hard? Fortress 2, um, Paradise City, Wire Room. All these sound like terrible titles, man. And look at all these 2021 movies. Holy crap. Holy crap, Bruce. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're killing your own career here. um, yeah, I haven't seen any of these. So this. Oh man, ouch. As a Bruce Willis fan, this is kind of like it's just like I said. It's like rubbing it in. Like, oh yeah, here's some salt to your injury. Um, the thing is, I grew up, in the '90s, and so of course I watched Die Hard late, as a late bloomer, like in mid '90s on a VHS. But I caught and of course Moonlighting series. I caught the reruns on TV, but the rest like Armageddon, Pulp Fiction. These are like these are like milestone movies of the 90s. Some of my favorites also include not the Sixth Sense, the other one, the Fifth Element. Yeah, the Sixth Sense was also good, but the Fifth Element, which was also the 90s. I mean, these are like the heydays of Bruce Willis, man. This is like, because Die Hard was 1988, and the whole 90s, it was just Bruce Willis this and Bruce Willis that. And as a fan of Bruce Willis, I was just like, I always get excited whenever I heard another Bruce Willis is coming. It's like, oh my God, yes, another Bruce Willis movie is gonna hit the theaters, or it's gonna hit VHS. I can't wait. This is gonna be awesome. And so, but then it just went downhill from there. And the thing is, with Nick Cage, right? Nick Cage has been also doing a lot of straight to Redbox movies, a lot of straight to VOD movies. But once in a while, once in a while, Nick Cage would kind of remind everybody that he's an Oscar winner. You know what I'm saying? Like the last year's movie Pig. He's been getting a lot of praises for that, and that was a great performance, and he might get nominated again for Pig. So, but Bruce Willis is not doing that. He's not reminding everybody that he was, once a great action star. He just now he's just like, okay, where's the paycheck? I'm gonna go where the paycheck goes. That's all he's doing now. And it's saddening. And I get it, talent wise, it's kind of not fair to equate Bruce Willis with Nick Cage, because Nick Cage is an Oscar winner and he is sort of like more of a better actor than Bruce Willis. But still, you gotta play this thing right, Bruce. You can't just like be doing all these shitty movies that you only show up for like 2 minutes or two scenes in it. um, Unbreakable, good vibes. Yes, Unbreakable, such a fantastic film. I love it. I wasn't really excited about Glass, by the way. That was the combination of Unbreakable and Split. Remember that, with James McAvoy and Samuel L. Jackson? I wasn't too crazy about that. A lot of people liked the movie, but I it was okay, and I thought Bruce Willis could have done better. But then again, it's like, I'm so naive for thinking that, but maybe because maybe that's the only the best point that he'll ever get in this past decade. Glass. He'll never amount to that anymore. Hi Rama, how are you doing? Robert makes the cut. Oh, I'm doing well, my friend. Uh, Robert makes the cut says Bruce Willis, aka DVD Willis, on the Walmart shelf. Yes. Oh my God! Look at this, man. A special category just for Bruce Willis. Oh, as a fan, as somebody who grew up in the '90s, idolizing Bruce, this just hurts. This hurts. um, I get it. I get it. I guess I guess my next question would be, what would or how would Bruce Willis respond to this category? I'm sure he will never respond to it. That's why I will always forever respect Halle Berry and Sandra Bullock. Remember that when Halle Berry got uh, awarded for Razzie Awards for Catwoman, and Sandra Bullock got awarded Razzie Awards for that movie that she did with Bradley Cooper. Guess what they did? They actually showed up at the awards. They actually showed up at the awards. They were such good sport, and they accepted their award like joyfully too. Like, yeah, yeah, I get it. That movie that I did was shitty, but hey, you know what? We all have a great time laughing at it. I don't mind. That sometimes I make shitty movies. So Sandra and Halle Berry showed up at the Razzie, and I don't know if Bruce Willis will. Uh, I don't think he will. Robert makes a cut. What WTF happened to Bruce? Here's the thing. Okay, that's the question we want to answer, right? So yeah, Bruce Willis is too prideful. He's too proud. He's never gonna accept his Razzie awards. Okay. But to answer your question, Robert, what happened to Bruce? I think what happened is that, and I've used this answer quite a while for other actors as well. Um, Hollywood just doesn't know what to do with him anymore. Hollywood has moved on from him. The trend right now is, of course, superheroes in spandex, right? Marvel stuff, DC stuff, and and action movies are like that. They're superhero stuff, and the non-action superhero, the non-action superhero movies, um, they want to at least have that same level of quality, and so casting somebody like Bruce Willis is just not in their interest. I mean, he may have been a money maker back in the 90s, but right now the money makers are Chris Hemsworth, right? Or um, Liam Neeson. They keep having Liam Neeson do old man action thrillers, and people keep paying to see Liam Neeson do this basically the same thing in every movie since Taken. So that's where the trend has been this past decade, and there's no place to squeeze Bruce Willis in there. Um, and that's the same answer I would give you when you ask me, "Hey, what happened to that guy Jean Dujardin who won Oscar for the movie The Artist? What happened? How come he's not starring in all these roles?" Well, because Hollywood doesn't know how to fit him in. Hollywood has no use for him beyond The Artist. Unfortunately, in some cases that is the case. So and Robert makes makes a great argument here. He doesn't care anymore. Yes, he doesn't care anymore. And that goes to Bruce Willis. That answer goes to Bruce Willis, that he's gotten to the point in his career where he's making, or he has made, so much money from Die Hard 3, 4, 5, the shitty Die Hard sequels, that he's like, you know what? I don't need to prove myself anymore. I'm just gonna do these shitty independent stuff, where I show up just for like 2 minutes and just collect the paychecks. And you know what? If that's the case, then good for him, right? Maybe that's his American dream. Maybe to him that is a satisfying life to live. Like he doesn't have to be this Armageddon, this last man standing, this Fifth Element persona anymore. So exactly, he only does it for the paycheck. Um, Robert makes the cut says so. I think maybe he's happy this way. Maybe he doesn't give two shits that he got his own special category by Razzie Awards. He probably like, whatever. I'm the one who's collecting 25 millions per shitty movies. I don't know. Maybe he's happy this way. So I guess as a fan, as a lifelong fan of Bruce Willis, if he feels that way, then I should feel happy for him as well. But it does, a part of me still kind of, oh, that hurts. That hurts that Razzie actually separates him, Bruce Willis onto his own category. I was like, oh my goodness. Um, but yeah, but that's to answer your question. That's what happened to Bruce Willis, and I think he's just waiting for Die Hard 6. Whenever that Die Hard 6 is gonna happen, he's like, you know what? I'm just doing all this shitty stuff, you know, until Hollywood calls me back again for Die Hard 6. uh, Robert makes a cut. The Die Hard car battery commercial was the best thing he did recently. That's right. That's right. and and Robert, also the roast. Remember Comedy Central roast 2 years ago? So that speaks to him being a good sport. Being able to take a joke. To take the hit, if you will. So and I'm sure he doesn't take he doesn't think too highly about this Razzie special category. So yeah, to conclude, I want to wish a time someday in the near future that maybe Bruce Willis can be a comeback kid, like Mickey Rourke with the wrestler. Mickey Rourke, the comeback kid. Maybe I'm picturing a scenario in my mind that someday in the near future, Bruce Willis could be a comeback kid. It doesn't have to be an action movie; it could be any movie. But until then, this is what we have to deal with: a special category of just for Bruce Willis in the Razzie Awards, and he's gonna win all of it. Okay, he's gonna win for all of these titles. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm gonna go catch some late lunch. uh, that's right, CC Row special. Oh, where's that? Did I just? I think I just minimized the video here. There you go. So I'm gonna go catch some late lunch, you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. And subscribe. Let's rock this. Ah.